You're listening to the Geriatric Mamas podcast with Jessica Rose
and Sonia Tapley.
Hey mamas, welcome back to another episode of Geriatric Mamas. Today is going to be a Geriatric Coffee Convos. We're going to talk about a variety of topics, including the latest docu-series trending on Netflix, The Man with 1,000 Kids, a pregnant woman's reaction to her sister sharing her baby's incredibly odd name, and Gypsy Rose Blanchard's latest announcement, spoiler alert, she's pregnant.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't look anywhere on social media without seeing something about Gypsy Rose. Gypsy Rose got a nose job. Gypsy Rose redid her hair. Gypsy Rose bought some sneakers. Gypsy Rose is getting a divorce. Gypsy Rose is pregnant.
Now she's pregnant.
And now she's pregnant. And it's just like Gypsy everywhere. She's even on Kardashians, and it's just Gypsy.
Yeah.
Gypsy.
Can't get enough. She's literally everywhere. And The Man with 1,000 Kids is not to be confused with that other show we talked about however long ago. Tell me the name of it again. Our Father. Okay, so now there's two shows that everybody has to go watch.
One of them is essentially ejaculating all over the world. And then the other one is secretly impregnating women.
Oh, yeah. That's
unbeknownst to them.
Secretly.
With his own sperm.
Secretly creating a world of children that are his own.
How fucking gross.
So gross.
It's all so fucking gross. I'm sorry. It's just really fucking gross. No, but like especially, well, it's both gross. And we're obviously going to get into it in this episode. But like especially with like the doctor that was like without the women knowing. Because it's like, you know, you go in with your partner.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, so excited to have both of your genes and you're going to be doing this or whatever. And then it's like the baby's born and you're like, I don't remember.
Kind of looks like your doctor.
Kind of looks like your doctor. Well, like, what is going on here? Like,
yeah, unexpectedly raising another man's child. I mean, it's one thing if you're like, I want to raise that man's child. It's an entirely other thing when you're doing it. Like, you paid for the service.
Yeah, and you're like, you mentally prepared for it. You made this decision together. This is something that's going to happen. But then to just like have like imposter sperm friggin' injected into you, like, thanks.
Yeah. We hope you enjoy this episode.
So listen at your own risk.
Yeah. Also, major spoilers for The Man with 1,000 Kids. So you might want to skip over that part if you plan on watching it and being surprised. It's still great though.
Yeah, we'll include the timestamp in the show notes. So if you want to watch it first and then tune into this, do it. Either way, it's all entertaining. But it's like top 3 Netflix, so you can't miss it.
No, it's right there.
Well, enjoy.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And we're live. Well, we're sort of live. We're not really live. We're live to us, but not to our listeners. I don't know why I had to explain that. I guess it's not live. We're not live.
Nope, not yet. We're not.
This is not a live situation.
I always have to like, whenever I'm making Instagram posts and I'm like, now live or whatever, I have to like really watch that wording because it's like, it's not live, like it's just live now.
Well,
like,
so I think
you
like,
can
live
listen
has like
to it now.
But I think live has like several meetings because it could be like live, like
going live
no
right
editing.
now.
Yeah, like no editing. It's like live action. Or it's like it's published. It's like live. It's like ready for
Ta-da!
We're here.
Yeah.
I've been like super deep into that case that Kate told us about that's trending right now, the Karen Reed case. Boyfriend cop murder. So usually like every week I'm like a narcissist and we'll listen to like our own podcast. I'm just like, oh my God, we're so cute. I have to admit I'm behind a few weeks because I've just been like all about the case. And I know it's like live and I know that like the jury, it's a mistrial, they're at a standstill or whatever. That's fine. But I'm just like going back through, obviously starting from the beginning and listening to the whole thing. Have you started listening to it?
I started it. I'm still on episode 1 because it's like 2 hours or 3 hours long or something.
Yeah, and it's the like, first one is so long.
Then when I was texting you and Kate about it, and Kate didn't even remember that they interviewed the guy who died's family, I was like, holy shit. How long does this go on for? Because this man's been on the stand for a really long time. Like, she didn't even remember.
I was painting the playroom and I just like had it going. And it was just like, I love listening to podcasts while I'm painting. I feel like
Yeah.
It's just like
I
so
did that too when I painted our bathroom in the old house. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so therapeutic. I love it so much. But yeah, and it just like the first episode is just like, Jesus. And they go on forever. And it's like, how many times are they going to talk about the fucking weather? Like, we get it. It's
It
a
was
snowstorm. Like, every single person that comes on the stand. So would you agree the weather conditions were not very visible? Yeah, I would agree. The next person. So what would you say the weather conditions were like? It was snowing pretty bad. Would you say it's not visible? Yes, I would say it's not visible. Okay. Like, it felt like it was like 3 hours establishing the fucking weather. And it was funny because at one point the judge is like, okay, can we move on? Like, we got it. Right. It's a shitty storm. She didn't say that, but I feel like that's what she wanted to say. She's like, it's a shitty storm. Move on. Let's go.
I think the jury understands that it was snowing that night.
It.
Half of them live there. So they probably were like experiencing the same storm you were.
They're like, we lived it. We get it. Thank you. Got it. Right. Noted. You set the scene. We're very much in it. We're here. Now what?
Now what is next? Let's get into it. No, just
shit. Seriously. I've had a week. Like, it's been like so crazy busy with work and then also adjusting to Hayden's new nap schedule, which I'm just like, in denial that this is a new thing because it's just like so inconvenient because it's like right in the middle of the day. Yeah. Like anywhere between 1 and 2:30. Like, okay, that's cool.
Right. You're used to having like breakups in your day when you can get things done for work and like breathe a couple seconds and it's like you're just always on
that. I know. Always. Always. It's fine. Well, how was your week? I feel like I didn't really get to talk to you much this week.
We didn't get to talk very much this week. It's been a crazy week over here too. Annabelle was a little bit sick this week, and so it's just been like super draining. I wasn't even like on my phone at all. Thank goodness. Like, she's 100% better now, and it's the weekend and Mike is off, so it's like she's 100% better, so I can breathe and not be worried about her. But then also she's out with Mike like birthday shopping for her Mimi right now, so it's great.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah.
Do you guys like let her pick stuff out, or is it like, this is what you're giving Mimi?
Yeah. Well, Mike always takes her shopping with him when he gets gifts, and so he lets her pick out whatever. It doesn't matter what it is.
Here's a toilet brush.
Yeah.
Mimi, I hope you wanted this.
Here you go. Mimi's gonna love this, Daddy. I can't wait to give it to her. And he's like, perfect. So
that's amazing. I remember when I was little, my parents would give me like $5 or something, and we'd go to like the dollar store. And so like I could pick out a gift for like Meme or like my dad or whatever it is for like their birthdays. And it was always just like the stupidest shit. But like as a kid, you're like, okay, like Meme loves drinking her tea in the morning, and like she likes having her oatmeal. She like eats her oatmeal in a little coffee mug. And so I just knew that she loved coffee mugs. And so I picked out this like stupid ass coffee mug. It's like, actually, I think it was like a because at the time when you're little, like everything's really big, and it was like this tiny little like teacup. It was like a kid's teacup, I think is what it's meant. It was like a tiny little china teacup glass. And I remember it's like, here you go. And she's just like, oh, thank you. It's like a tiny little shot of like whatever.
Yeah, it's so cute. But you were thoughtful.
I know. Yeah. I picked it out myself. I paid for it with money that was given to me. Hard-earned cash.
You totally could have spent like $1 of that on her present and like $4 on candy and shit. So you didn't.
I totally could have.
Yeah.
Or I probably like somehow like haggled my mom into like letting me keep the $5 and then her just buying the gift.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, well, this is my money now. I'm not spending my money. But now that you brought me here, there are some things I need to pick up.
Yeah. Oh, so good. I can totally see that being a thing. I love it. Yeah. No. So in case you're wondering, this hair right here is, I think, wash number 6 of the week. Wash and blow dry.
Yeah. Wow. What's the occasion?
Yeah. So normally I wash it twice a week and like we're good to go. Like I will put it up in a ponytail a lot, especially since it's summertime. Holy shit, it's like 100 degrees here right now. But yeah, so this week while I was trying to get stuff done for the podcast, I was loading reels onto Instagram for like drafts to save and edit later. Mm-hmm. And so Annabelle was like, hey, mommy, can I do your hair? And I was like, sure, that's a great activity for you to do while I'm working. Like, it's not going to, you know, she's not going to be trying to touch my screen, anything.
What could go wrong?
Right. So she has like this Melissa and Doug like vanity set that has like a fake little squirt bottle, and then she has like a brush in the set and like a blow dryer and a, you know, whatever. So she's going to do my hair. So I'm like, cool. So like she's spraying, I hear the psh, 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 and you know, everything is like fine. She starts brushing, and then like I happen to look over to my left and I see in the corner of my eye our bathroom room spray bottle. And she's obsessed with that thing. She's always trying to find a reason to use it. But I did not think it was my hair that she was going to use it on.
Like air freshener?
It's like an air freshener. And so I looked down and I couldn't smell it yet. I couldn't smell it because she was working on the back of my head. And I was like, hey, babe. She's like, what, mama? I'm like, did you use the bathroom air freshener on my hair? Yeah, mama, it smells so good. I was like, oh my God. She's like, you like it? You like it, mommy? I'm like, yeah, I love it. Okay, can we find your other spray bottle too? And so basically I had just washed my hair that morning and I was like, shit. So then the next day we were recording. I think we were recording. I don't remember. But anyways, we might have talked, and then I was working on show notes, and I was like plowing down. I had washed my hair. I had dried it. I was plowing down on some carrots and some ranch, as you do. And I wasn't paying attention to where the ranch was going because I was working again at the same time. And next thing you know, I like put my hand through my hair and I felt something wet. No. And then I smelled ranch, like nothing but ranch. And I was like, okay, wait, it's just because the ranch is sitting in front of me. It's not because it's in my hair. Then I smelled my hand and it was covered in ranch dressing.
Oh, come on.
It wasn't just a little bit, Jess. It wasn't just a little bit. It was like a glob of ranch. So then I had to go upstairs and I had to wash my hair again and dry it because I couldn't just be walking around with wet hair. So...
Yeah, savage.
And then like days later, I could still smell the ranch like days later. So, you know, it's just been like a whole mess of hair washing.
Yeah. Oh my God. We just got into the ranch ourselves because we're in the phase, as you know, I've talked about this for a while, where he's just a very finicky eater. He'll have certain things that he likes, and it's like one day he'll love something, the next day he snubs his nose to it. He's back to eating green beans again, so I'm happy with that. But it's just like he'll take a little bite of this, a little bite of that, and then just like call it a day. And it's like, no, you can't survive on that. You need to eat something. And so I have really been like hesitant to like start giving him any kind of condiments, mostly for selfish reasons. Cause I'm like thinking about a mess. I'm like, I'm an idiot that chose a white couch. I have all white things like ketchup. There's no room for ketchup in our life. There's just absolutely no room for ketchup. It's not a thing. And so I was like, but like ranch is white. So theoretically, like if you were to get ranch on my white couch, I can clean it off and it's going to be less visible than freaking a ketchup stain would be. So like maybe we'll start with ranch and just see how it goes. Loves ranch and it's actually getting him to eat. Great. Well, like a couple days ago, I noticed that he had this like red mark on the side of his face and there was like a little bit of like ranch. And I'm just like, what the hell? And I'm thinking like maybe like while he was eating, because he'll put his whole hand in it and smear it in his face and like he just loves it. And I was thinking maybe he like hit his face with ranch a little too hard and that's what it did. Wiped it off, didn't think anything of it because he was acting fine. It wasn't like anything was bothering him. I'm like, okay. And then last night rather, he's eating his dinner. I like put a little bit of ranch down with his little dino nuggets and french fries and he's eating away. And I look over and his whole mouth area and like partly up his cheeks are all blotchy red. And I'm like, what the hell? Yeah. And I go over, I'm looking and it's even like, it's basically wherever the ranch is touching his skin is bright red. And I'm like, are you fucking allergic to ranch? Yeah. And he literally has red. It looked like hives, but it was like bright red. But he was acting totally fine. He's just like Like, you know, like in the movie Hitch,
Everything's
where like Will
fine.
Smith is like, I feel great. What are you talking about? And you look at the bear and he's just like, ah! It was kind of like that because he's all smiling, just eating his dinner, and like he has red blotchiness all over his face, and I was like, oh my God. So I go over it wasn't raised or anything. I like look in his mouth. There was no swelling. He was acting fine. It was like bothering me more than him is what it seemed like. I was like, what is happening? So I quickly Googled it because I was just like, let's just see what Dr. Google says. And apparently it's a thing. It's normal. It's normal. I guess ranch is one of the foods that can cause like, it's like on contact eczema in kids and toddlers, and they said they'll likely outgrow it as they get older. But like I guess like any like things with like perfumes or like some foods including ranch, it said it's very unlikely that your child has an allergy to ranch. If anything, it's like an eczema thing, and it's bothering it's going to bother you more than it bothers them. And that's exactly what was happening. So I was just like, okay, because it's like, I'm like, are you kidding? Like I finally find something that's getting you to eat, and now you're like breaking out in red things all over your face. And then like it said like once it'll go away after a little bit, like once the contact, you know, there's no more contact. And that's exactly what happened. Like I wiped his face when he was done eating and everything, and it went away within like minutes. So it was fine. But I was just like, Jesus.
Yeah. That's crazy. I had never heard of that.
Me neither. It's a thing.
Annabelle could drink ranch too. I mean,
so can Hayden. You should have seen him. Like he literally, like it was his nose. There was like parts, like because it's wherever the ranch was touching, and he was taking it and like stuffing his face with food and ranch, and it was just all wherever the ranch had contacted his skin was bright red, and it was just beautiful.
He's like, woohoo! This is a ranch party.
He had no idea.
It's like you with alcohol. I mean,
well,
it's
that's
not
exactly
like
what I was telling Adam. I was like, oh, you poor thing, you have mommy skin. Like, mommy has a reaction to alcohol. You have a reaction to ranch. So here we go. Giddy up.
That's hilarious. And that's gonna be his favorite condiment when he gets older, all because your couches were white.
Yeah.
So
I know. I was like, well, what else could I'm like, I guess I could try honey mustard. Like, that's yellow. I feel like yellow is not easy to get out either. So I don't know. What other white condiment is there besides ranch?
I don't know. Like horseradish. Like, let's not get him onto that right now.
I don't think. Yeah, I think we're good with that. Although the Arby's horsey sauce is
exactly.
Like
that's exactly what made me think about it, because I used to love that with the curly fries. Oh, I don't know why.
Because like during beauty school, because we used to leave during lunch during beauty school, we would go. We'd get like Arby's curly fries and their horsey sauce, and just like go to town in the parking lot.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that because they had one in the mall, but I don't even remember where else there was. Oh, right over off of Forest Ave, they used to have one. I forgot about that, and that was like right around the corner from beauty school.
Yeah, that's where we used to go.
How did I forget about that? Anyway, it's not a big deal.
I mean, it's not like it was a big significant time in our life. Like we were literally just eating fucking French fries in a parking lot. I think it's okay to forget that memory.
I think you're right.
It's okay. We can table that memory. It's fine.
We can just cut all of that because it's not significant.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, shall we get into it?
Yes.
Today's episode will be a Geriatric Coffee Convos on a variety of topics, including the latest docu-series trending on Netflix, The Man with 1,000 Kids, a pregnant woman's reaction to her sister sharing her baby's incredibly odd name, and Gypsy Rose Blanchard's latest announcement. She's pregnant.
Spoiler.
Do we want that spoiler everywhere? We do, right?
Yeah, we want that spoiler. I mean, it's all over the place right now. So
yeah, you're right. I just haven't had time to look.
We're not the first reporting this news. And if this is the first time you're hearing that news, then you've literally been living under a rock, and you've been looking at all social media and everything. Because I feel like everywhere I look, it's just like Gypsy Rose, Gypsy Rose, Gypsy Rose. I'm like, jeez. So this first topic, I'm really excited to get into this one. I stumbled across, well, I shouldn't say I stumbled across it. It's not like I had to look hard to find it. It's trending on Netflix right now. But I was scrolling through Netflix trying to see what was out, and then this docu-series popped up. And I think it was last weekend that I found it, and literally, because it's just 3 episodes. They're long, but it's like really good. And I binged the entire thing and I put it on. It did one of those things where I put it on, just kind of have it as like background. Because at first, like when the people start talking, I didn't really find them that interesting. And I was just like, whatever, I'm just going to like have it on as background as I'm cleaning. And the next thing I know, I'm sitting on the couch like, oh my God.
What is happening?
It's crazy. It's so like, ew. It's so, oh my God. It's like, it's funny, but it's fucked up too. Like, it's not funny. Like, it's funny because it's like unbelievable. Yeah. And it's just so ridiculous. Like, I can't. So let's get into it. So trending on Netflix right now, I think I just saw last night, it's like top 3 choices. It is The Man with 1,000 Kids. So a few episodes back, we talked about the Netflix documentary Our Father, about a fertility doctor who spent 30 years secretly impregnating patients with his own sperm rather than the donor or spousal sample agreed upon. This time, we follow the story of multi-offender power ejaculator Jonathan Jacob Meyer, a Dutch man who traveled all over the world donating his sperm to as many clinics in as many countries as he could. In addition, Meyer found time to make uncountable donations to women who preferred to source their sperm privately and avoid sperm banks. He would even convince some women to have sex with him instead.
Are you serious? Oh my God.
Yeah, he would like tell some of the women like, oh, I think like it'll work better for you if we do this naturally. So like, why don't we have sex? Like there was like one woman who was like, I think she's like a lesbian, and she was like, okay, and like had sex with him just to like, yeah, it's just,
oh my gosh.
Yes.
So when I saw this pop up on Netflix, I thought it was the one we had already talked about. So that's like why I didn't send it to you. Yeah.
Nope. It's a power ejaculator.
Oh my God. Oh,
okay.
Man.
I know. Okay. So from Yahoo News, don't make fun of me the way I say Yahoo. I can't help it. The focus of the documentary is Jonathan Meyer, who has made headlines recently for being banned from donating sperm. Yes, he is the man with 1,000 kids in the show's title, though it quickly becomes apparent that he has no idea how many he actually has. Though it could sound funny, this new 3-part series quickly shows us it's actually anything but. One after the other were taken into the lives of the people he affected, from couples Susan and Natalie to Joyce and John, and solo parents including Vanessa. They all had one thing in common. They were longing for a baby and unwilling to pay for an expensive clinic in the Netherlands where they lived, for multiple reasons. I want to look the sperm donor in the eye and see if his personality fits my personality, said Natalie, something anonymous donations wouldn't have let her do. Instead, they found him on the website longing for a child. Things started well. He was enthusiastic and handsome, like a Viking, as one says. He had a long mane of blonde hair that many apparently found dazzling, and even better, said he only wanted to father 5 children, 10 max. This guy is a loon, by the way. If you look at him up, he's just like the craziest character ever. He has like a YouTube channel and he's like travels all around. He's just like constantly doing like these like YouTube videos and like giving like life lessons and shit. And like at one point in the documentary, he's like, I'm giving these life lessons to all of my children. And like he expects his children to like follow him on YouTube, and like that's how he's gonna father all of these children.
There are so many men, as described above, who are so successful at getting women to follow them on their journey on whether it be YouTube or like just a traveling like bus carrot. Like, what are these women thinking?
I don't know.
Gross.
I know. Well, they're not really thinking about him. They're thinking about
just thinking about themselves.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, that came out a little bit wrong. They're thinking about wanting to have a baby. Yeah.
They're thinking about wanting to have a baby. He was keen to have children both naturally and via insemination. And sure enough, children quickly started to be born. Very quickly. The law in the Netherlands states that the maximum number of kids one sperm donor can father is 25. But as the new parents were to slowly discover, Meyer had in fact been much busier. Like, he must have like the biggest like forceps like in his arms. Like, Jesus Christ.
He doesn't need to go to the gym. He's got his own.
No, exactly. He's got a little shake weight. Things spiral from there. From 5 to 10 to hundreds, children were soon popping up all over the Netherlands. One mother recounts seeing a child exactly like hers in their kindergarten and realizing they shared the same father. Could you imagine? Like, you take Annabelle to like preschool or something and you're like, huh, that child looks just like her. And then you realize like I can't even, like, the mind fuck, I can't.
Right.
No. And when they confronted Meyer, he turned nasty. As the documentary recounts in gleeful detail, that's not even the worst of it. The word incest is used a staggering number of times across 3 episodes. Genetic incest among unwitting siblings is apparently a real problem. And a sequence of images showing a pot, a syringe, a scan, and a crying baby flashes up again and again, like the show's trying to pound it into our eyeballs. It's undoubtedly fascinating viewing, although in a very grim way. And the revelations about sperm donation and Meyer's way of doing it is horrifying. So going back to like genetic incest, so they were saying, like, you know, if you think about it, like the bigger problem here, you have this guy, right? He's like spreading his seed all over the world. And so he has like hundreds, thousands probably of kids.
Right.
And they were saying, like, you know, imagine like, you know, your child goes off to university and they lock eyes with somebody and they think it's love at first sight. They feel that attraction and they don't realize what it is. They think it's love and they fall in love, but really it's because they're siblings. So they're immediately attracted to each other and they have that connection because they're fucking siblings, but they're mistaking it for being in love.
Yeah. And remember how we kind of talked about this on Lisa Schumann's episode, because she deals with like sperm donors and egg donors and all of this. And there's 23andMe and, you know, people who are marrying their siblings. And of course, it's not even at that magnitude and what we were talking about. So what's happening with him in the Netherlands has got to be on a scale of like 1,000 compared to what we were talking about with Lisa. Well, obviously 1,000, a man with 1,000 children. So there it is.
And another thing that they don't talk about in this, and I know I'm probably like ruining this for people who haven't seen this documentary yet. I mean, still watch it regardless. It's like, holy shit. But so there was actually 2 of them. So it was Jonathan, and then there was also this other guy who's like bald and he's like so creepy looking. And basically like they were like tag teaming. And so it was kind of like Russian roulette with their sperm, because sometimes when they would like give their donation, it was both of them ejaculating into the cup. And so like they would mix their sperm together and then they would give that sperm to the woman. And it was like Russian roulette to see whose baby, like, and they were basically like doing a head count of who had the most babies, like, in the world. And like,
wow.
Yeah, so there's 2 of them. So you think you're getting this one guy with the Viking hair as like going to be your baby daddy, but you could be getting this like weird bald guy. Like, yeah, it's just like
so twisted.
So fucked up. Yes, yes. Meyer declined to comment at the time the Netflix series was being filmed. However, upon its release, the serial sperm donor can't seem to stop talking about it. From NBC News, Jonathan Meyer slams Netflix docu-series and threatens a slander suit. Jonathan Meyer, the prolific sperm donor who became the subject of Netflix's latest hit docuseries, lambasted the show's portrayal of him and said he is preparing a slander suit. Okay. Meyer, who did not participate in the docuseries, has claimed he has fathered approximately 550 children, not 1,000, as the title suggests. First of all, that's still gross. That's still a lot. Okay, like, calm down.
Right.
But the documentary alleges he lied to many families about the number of offspring he had produced. Responding to the docuseries online, Meyer said in a YouTube video last week that when he first began donating, he did tell families the exact number of children he had helped create, but he later chose to stop giving out the real estimate. Technically, I did not lie, Meyer told NBC News in an email Monday. I followed the guidelines of every large commercial international sperm bank that does not inform the recipients about the amount of offspring one donor will produce, Meyer wrote, adding, I was doing a much better thing. I gave the parents an estimated number. This was better and more info than they would ever get at any clinic. Eve Wiley, a fertility fraud activist, Wow. Fertility fraud activist? There's another career.
We need one of those.
Fun, right? Who Meyer said has nothing to do with him, estimated in the show that Meyer could have fathered thousands of children, depending on how many straws of sperm were successfully used to conceive. What happens psychologically to these children that have 700, 800, 900 brothers and sisters? Kate, an Australian mother who found Meyer through Denmark-based cryos, the largest international sperm and egg bank in the world, said in the show, how are they psychologically going to be able to deal with this information? I don't fucking know. Like, how do you even process that? Like just to like all of a sudden realize.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about it with like that other documentary, Our Father. Like you go to do 23andMe and you realize you have like half, like 900 siblings. Like what the hell?
That's a lot to keep up with.
That's a lot. That is just like, I can't even. That's just, I don't even know. My brain can't compute with that.
Right.
In multiple videos posted to his YouTube channel last week, Meyer slammed the docu-series characterization of his motives. What kind of man would do that, Meyer said in the video, mimicking a line from the documentary's trailer. Well, it has to be a man that's willing to help others, and a man that sees that he can, with his life, do something more than just live for himself, work for himself, and he wants to be useful to others. That's the kind of man that does it, and I'm not an exception. Oh, thank you so much for your service, Meyer. Jesus. Meyer, who said he stopped donating sperm in 2019, denied that he had developed an addiction to the act and said he takes offense to the show's characterization of him as a serial donor. I dislike the word serial because every donor is a serial donor. It's just
like, serial killers have an addiction?
Yes, they do, to killing. And he has an addiction to jacking off.
Serial donor. Yeah. I mean, we could just call him a serial jack-offer, but we're calling him a serial donor. So
it's just like a donor helps multiple families. That's quite common. It's quite normal, Meyer said in the video. So this is really already adding this extreme negative aspect in the documentary, like serial killer, serial donor. He even brings that up. Non-binding medical guidelines in the Netherlands impose a cap of 25 children per sperm donor, and Dutch law prohibits people from donating at more than one clinic in the country. The New York Times reported in 2021 that Meyer, who is Dutch, had fathered at least 102 in the Netherlands through multiple clinics, as well as at least 80 through private donations. Though the Dutch Society of Obstetrics and Gynecology banned him from donating sperm in the Netherlands in 2017, Meyer continued to donate to recipients in other countries. Sorry, just like he can't fucking help himself. Do you want my sperm? Do you want my sperm? Just like fucking
one for you, and one for you.
Like it's just like a fucking like machine gun of like a penis, just like fucking. I can't. Sorry. It's not funny, but it's just so fucked up. I just can't understand this. It doesn't seem real. That's why it's funny, because it's just so like, I can't even. In April last year, a Dutch court also banned him from donating sperm to new parents at the cost of 100,000 euros per violation. Meyer also denied the documentary's allegation that he had mixed his sperm with another donor's before giving it to the recipients to see whose genes would win. The accusation was made in the documentary by a friend of Meyer's who said that the other donor told her about the incident, calling it a blatant lie. Meyer said in the video that he would pursue a slander suit if Netflix does not remove the claim from the show. Oh, okay, let's just go in there and remove this like allegation real quick and then like repost the doc. Like, no, fuck off, dude. You know what kills me with these is like whenever they say it's like, oh, they declined to respond, they declined a comment, because at the end, like that's what it said on the Netflix documentary, like they reach out to them, they're like, is there anything you want to add? It's like they always decline and then they get pissed off when they see what was there. It's like, well, had you fucking participated, you would have had the opportunity to tell your side, but you chose not to, so there you fucking go. I don't know what you want.
Can't be changed now, dude.
Seriously. He said in an email that he is in the process of suing the company. Netflix did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Josh Allett, the docu-series director, told Netflix that he met with Meyer to speak with him about participating in the documentary. We approached him a number of times to be interviewed and gave him a right to reply at the end, Allett said. He refused to comment on any of the allegations in the series. Meyer acknowledged in his YouTube video that he declined to participate in the documentary, adding he wanted to stay humble and do my own story. He told NBC News that he did not want to cooperate in any way with Netflix. That was all in caps, so I had to really emphasize that. And it is their responsibility to not use lies and slander.
Wow. You want to talk about a narcissist? And I don't use that word lightly. I don't call people that, but this is textbook.
I know. It's just like, oh my God. And then I'm just like thinking, and I don't want to like put rumors out there. Obviously, like I know she did a ton of fucking research, but Lala Kent just got pregnant with her second child through a sperm donor.
Right.
So I'm just like, oh God. Oh God.
We missed the party that she had, like the sperm donor shower or whatever. So we need to go back and watch that because I think we fell asleep or something.
Oh yeah, it's cute. And then also like he's catching women at the most vulnerable time. It's like they're longing for a baby, and it's like so expensive to go through a sperm clinic, and it's sometimes it's just like very sterile, and there's lab coats, and it feels very like weird. And I can only imagine, I'm speaking like I've been to one, I haven't, but I'm only imagining, so I'm putting myself in their position. They're probably thinking like, oh, this is better, it's more intimate, it's more personalized, I know him, I see his personality. And then, oh God, he's literally taking advantage of that. He's single-handedly populating the whole world.
Yeah.
It's so gross. But it's not just him. Like there's men that do this, and I think they make money. Don't they make money doing it too? So this is his career. Yeah. So basically it's like when he'll go to like multiple clinics and fill, like when he's like tapped out, they're like, okay, well, you've already exceeded your 25. Then he'll go to a different clinic. You exceeded your 25. And then when like the country or the state or whatever the fuck, the country catches on to what he's doing, he goes to a different country. And so he literally will just like go all around the world with his like bald-headed friend who claims it's a lie, but I feel like it's true. And they just like go around bopping around, ejaculating, and just
living their best lives,
making little Vikings
everywhere. I can't. Now we need to look him up and determine if he really looks like a Viking or not. But holy crap.
He's just like looks like this weird like hipster guy, and he's like singing. He's constantly singing, and his like, no, it's like awful. It's like heavy rock. Like he'll like pull out his like guitar, and you think that he's gonna sing these like acoustic John Mayer vibes or something, and he's just like, I love you, and you're just like, what the hell? It's like my ears are bleeding. What is going on? Yeah, it's just he's just such a fucking character. And then he said, oh my God. So they showed like part of like the trial, and he was saying like to the judge, he was just like, he had his idea to like help the kids like make sure that like they don't fall in love with each other and there's like no incest happening, is that on social media they use a little symbol, then it's like it represents him. And so he suggested that all of them in the profile photos have a little symbol attached to label that they're like one of his kids.
I'm dying. Can you imagine walking around with a stamp on your photo?
That's basically what it is. And it's just like, I'm one of them.
When you go to a bar, should you have like, should you be wearing something on your neck? Like, like a flashing light on your head? So you know,
it's me. I'm here.
Right. Every time you introduce yourself to someone, you're going to have to be like, oh, by the way, I'm one of his. So.
Yeah. Oh. God, yeah, but that was his suggestion of how to like handle that situation, and the judge was just like, "Get the fuck out of here! You're banned. Put it away. We don't need your baby batter. Shut it down."
I'm so glad that the we'll fine him what, you said $100,000 if he attempts to donate. That's amazing. Go
so
Dutch.
Per violation. Woo! So like 100,000 euros per violation. He can continue. So if he has like a couple that he's already like given a baby to and they decide they want a sibling, he's able to do that for them. He's able to give them another sibling, but he can't give new pregnancies.
I don't know how I feel about that, but okay.
I know. It's so disgusting.
That's so just disgusting. Still another one of his children running around in the world that could end up potentially messing up their lives because they're trying to fall in love with somebody who's another one. Like, it's just another opportunity. Like, no.
And it's just like, you know, it's already so hard to like find that significant other and find your person. So like, now let's just
your soulmate happens to be your brother. Woo! Go you. According to the House of Dragon, though, it just means you're keeping your blood pure. But
that's true. That is true. It's very Khaleesi.
Jesus.
Yeah, I can't.
Well, let's move on. I can't breathe anymore. That topic was suffocating me. It's a good topic. Don't get me wrong. Right? I love the spoiler, and now I don't have to. Well, actually, I might have.
No,
to
you're
watch
gonna
it.
still. You're
I feel
still
like
gonna
I'm
want to
not
watch
gonna be
it
able to take my eyes off of it.
Even though, like, I gave like the gist of what the fuck is going on, there's still so many like sidebar stories and details that are in there that are just like. It's just it'll blow your mind. You just have
I feel like the moment you stopped and sat down and looked on the couch was the moment that he started talking women into having sex with him. I feel like that's when you were like, wait a second. What? I don't know, I might be wrong. But I feel like that would have been what made me sit down. I would have been like, oh, okay. We gotta
I think actually it was now that you because like I think that actually was because the woman was just like, yeah, he said that we should do it naturally. So we had sex. We did it 2 times. We did it twice. And like she said, like one woman was like, I used to like make him. There was one woman. Oh my God. She was like geriatric, right? Like us, geriatric.
Yeah.
And he was significantly younger than her, probably like 20, 30 years younger than her. And she was like, oh yeah, he'd come over and I would make him breakfast and I'd always give him chocolate milk after. And cause you know, it was cute. He's just like a child.
Oh,
so like
God.
He would fuck her and then she would like treat him like a child and give him chocolate milk. And then like he would leave.
That is so gross. It's like, hold on, I'm gonna go vomit. I'll be right back. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, there's just like a lot of little things like that that are just like so like, what the fuck? And you just have to watch it. Please watch it. It's really good. It's disturbing, but it's good.
I love that.
Moving on.
All right, so the next topic. A woman wonders if she's overreacting after her sister shared her baby-to-be's incredibly odd name. And this is from scarymommy.com. Parents give their kids weird names sometimes. It all started when Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin had to go ahead and name their kid Apple. That was the beginning of the strange, out-of-the-box naming of children. We couldn't just stick to Jennifer or John. We had to start looking around the room and naming our kids after household items, i.e. Blanket Jackson. I mean, household there it is, folks.
Here's my son's sponge and my daughter towel.
As a society, we may have gotten used to the strange name here or there, but one woman on Reddit believes her sister may have topped them all. In the Name Nerds subreddit, a woman asked for affirmation that she is not in the wrong after her big reaction to her sister's pick for her baby name. Let's just say something's fishy. The original poster begins by explaining that her sister is 7 months pregnant with a baby boy. Another important detail to know about the original poster's sister is that she loves the ocean, sea, and marine life. When she called her sister to catch up, she asked her about a name for the baby to be. The name her sister had settled on? Sea bass.
I fucking can't.
I'm not making this up. I truly wish I was, the OP wrote. She's always been a playful person, so I truly thought she was joking. But she said she really loved it. During a visit at her sister's house, the OP came across custom name signs that said Seabass, as well as a blanket with the soon-to-be baby's name on it. That's when she felt she had to say something about the name. I told her that I really don't think this is a good choice, tried to give her other nature or ocean names, even asked if she could use the name Sebastian, but she wasn't having it. And she said the name feels right for him.
Oh, no.
The OP, I know. The OP goes on to say that she fully realizes that this is not her child and that her sister can and will do what she wants with her own kid's name. I'm trying to respect her choice, but am I overreacting here? I'm trying to respect her choice, but am I overreacting here? Or is my sister just wild for this? She asked. Right off the bat, Reddit users were skeptical that this was even a real post, considering the wild nature of the name choice. Yeah. I mean, I was so hesitant to post this because I didn't want people to think I'm joking. But no, I'm being serious, the OP replied to the skeptics. And they said, commenters said, tell your sister she is naming a future adult. The name Seabass is atrocious, one user wrote. To put it bluntly, yes, you are correct. It is atrocious.
It's awful.
I know. Another wrote, respectfully, your sister has lost her damn mind. God, I hope she comes back to reality soon. There are so many lovely ocean-based names, too. I mean, literally, ocean. Ocean would be better.
Ocean. That's what Lala named her daughter. Ocean.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful for a boy or a girl. Mm-hmm. One Reddit user asked, wow, does she have a partner who can veto this mistake? The OP responded, no, she doesn't. However, my parents are also trying to get her to change the name. One Reddit user agreed that Seabass was a little out there, but assured the OP that she needs to trust her sister with this decision, citing pregnancy hormones for the momentary lapse of judgment. Okay, you're saying in the same sentence she needs to trust her sister, but also that pregnancy hormones can give you a lapse in judgment. What if that lapse in judgment lasts for the entire 9 months and through the hospital stay where the baby is named? I'm sorry. You're literally contradicting yourself, but it's fine.
Is it hard to change a name? Like, once a name is on a birth certificate, is it hard to change it?
It is. I think it is hard, but for people who have all the time and all the money in the world, F it, I guess. You know, like, just do it, I guess.
I just don't know why she hates her child so much. He's not even here, and she already hates him.
Right. It's definitely a momentary loss of judgment, but, like, this is going to affect him for the rest of his life.
It's so bad.
Another person wrote, I wouldn't worry about it. Your sister will realize on her own what a bizarre name this is and change it herself, they wrote. Pregnancy hormones can be genuinely nuts, enough to make someone think Seabass is a beautiful name, but they don't last forever, and she'll return to her senses likely before she even leaves the hospital. I mean, one can hope. This has the potential to be a cute, silly story your nephew will tell one day about how he was named Seabass for a few hours if you recognize that your sister isn't yours to control and that this is her baby to name, not yours. But if you keep pushing back and trying to exert control over her choices, you're going to hurt your relationship with your sister. Okay, that's harsh but true. Will the OP's sister come to her senses? Can the family compromise and switch the name to something a little more traditional like Sebastian? Seabass for short. After receiving...
How is Seabass for short? Just get rid of fucking Seabass.
We can just say so many other things other than Seabass. After receiving so much feedback, the OP wrote an update. Wow, thank you for all the responses. She's not trolling me, although she's playful. She's very serious when it comes to money and wouldn't have stuff made with his name on it if she wasn't serious. But anyway, I used some of the comments, mainly the fact that he'll be an adult one day. She did say she will think about using it as a middle name, but that's only if she finds a name that's better than Seabass, LOL. And so far, she hasn't yet. Holy crap. So any name suggestions are welcome. Thank you.
Okay, let's think of, like, all the fucking C names right now. Willie, right? Mm-hmm. Like, remember?
Yeah. Like Free Willy. Free Willy.
Yeah. You got Willie, Sebastian, obviously. Nemo. Fuck it. Nemo is better than Seabass.
Flounder. You could call it. No, I'm just kidding. Flounder's just as bad as Seabass.
Yeah.
I mean,
what is the prince in Ariel? What is the prince? His name? I don't know. Whatever.
not that long ago. I can't
What
remember.
about like star for like starfish?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, even starfish
orca?
is better than sea bass.
Orca is cute.
Yep, I'm trying to think.
Marine. You could even call them like marine.
Yeah.
Like marine life. I don't know.
Right. I mean,
there's
there
just
are
so many other things
so
that could have
many
happened
ocean
here.
names. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really still love the name Ocean, even for a boy. I think that's
or like
a great
Atlantis.
Name. Yeah.
That could be cool.
Yeah. There are so many. Oh, next thing you know, she'll be like, okay, how about we call him crab sea bass or something?
Or like trout.
She's going to say that. Yeah, we'll call him trout.
Biscuit, trout.
These are not good suggestions. We need to move on in case she's listening to this episode. Yeah. I'm kidding. Anyway, moving on. Gypsy Rose Blanchard is pregnant with her first baby after her prison release. From Us Magazine, Gypsy Rose Blanchard is expecting her first baby with Ken Erger following her release from prison. I know the rumors have been flying around for quite some time now, and I'm happy to announce that I'm 11 weeks pregnant. I did not know the rumors were bouncing around or whatever. Blanchard, 32, said in a YouTube video shared on Tuesday, July 9th, Ken and I are expecting our very first child come January 2025.
I think the rumors that were, I think the rumors that were flying around weren't that she's pregnant. It was that she, like, literally, she got married in prison to this, like, man. She gets out of prison. She's with him for like a month or two, divorces him because of his snoring and food hoarding. Remember, we talked about it. And then literally, like, a couple weeks later, now she's pregnant and she's
we're happy about it.
Announcement with this other dude. And it's like, where did he come from? Like, those are the rumors, is that like she suddenly has another boyfriend. It wasn't that she's pregnant. It's like, no, that's not what people are talking about.
Cue the beautiful maternity photo family session with this man that we know nothing about.
Wait, who is this? What's happening?
Oh, Blanchard added that the baby was not planned. Oh, really?
Oh, no shit. I had no idea.
Not judging. I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
I'm judging the shit out of her. I can't help it. I am. I'm just going to call it what it is. I'm not going to pretend I'm not. I'm totally judging her.
I swear you're going to see the beautiful family photos popping up of them caressing her tummy here soon.
No, they're already there. She's already had a maternity shoot. It's already,
just to let you know, I have been living under a rock. However, I did send you this episode. I mean, I did send you this article. I just wasn't able to read it. So I have partially been living under a rock.
You're just living in the headlines this week. It's fine.
Yes. But the twosome are both very excited to take on this new journey of parenthood. Blanchard served 7 years in prison after pleading guilty to the 2015 second-degree murder of her mother, Claudine Dee Dee Blanchard. She was released in December 2023. Her ex-boyfriend, Nicholas Godjohn, who killed Dee Dee after planning her murder with Gypsy, was convicted of first-degree murder in 2018 and is serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. 5 months after her release, Gypsy revealed that she wanted to start a family of her own. Absolutely, I want kids someday. I think that I'm going to be a good mother, she exclusively told Us Weekly in May. I think my boyfriend, Ken, would be a wonderful father, and so we'll see what the future holds for us. Despite her hopes for, which always means that they're already trying or already pregnant. Just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like she probably was already pregnant at that point.
Right. Despite her hopes for a family, Gypsy acknowledged at the time that she was still working through the alleged abuse she suffered at the hands of her mother as a child. Dee Dee allegedly put Gypsy through a series of unnecessary medical interventions, including surgeries and a feeding tube, while convincing Gypsy and the public that she was ill when she wasn't.
I don't know why that's allegedly. That's actually been proven. So we need to remove allegedly, because it actually did fucking happen.
Right. It sounds like a cuss word when it's coming out of my mouth, because we've all seen the documentary, or at least heard about it. We've all heard the story. We all know it was true. So it feels weird saying it.
It absolutely happened. We can
several witnesses. Yeah. I'm going through the healing process of processing those emotions that I feel towards myself and towards her, she shared. I have been diagnosed with PTSD and I am on medication for it. So then when the nightmares come, it puts me in a bad state of mind and takes me a day to come out of that negative mindset, and it takes work. Gypsy added that forgiving herself for her role in Dee Dee's murder was a daily work in progress that she was working on in therapy. Following her release from prison, Gypsy went through a turbulent period in her love life. After marrying Ryan Scott Anderson in 2022 during her time behind bars, she filed for divorce in April. Later that month, she confirmed that she was back together with her former fiancé, Urker, whom she met through a pen pal program in prison. In May, Gypsy insisted that her connection with Urker did not directly cause her split from Anderson. It was, I think, an insecurity that was there for a very long time, she told us. I called Ken 2 weeks before I got married. Ken has consistently been brought up in a way that I can never let go of my feelings, but I put them on the back burner to do what was best for my marriage. And so having that be a point of contention has been a thread throughout, but I didn't leave Ryan for Ken. That was just short of a realization of, hey, we still love each other after the fact.
Okay.
I am so lost. I am just reading this article, trying not to laugh.
What are you lost about? What are you lost about?
Her multiple relationships, because I only knew about the one. I wasn't really paying attention to the whole thing. I only knew about the guy she married and then the guy she divorced. I didn't realize that there were other people in the mix.
But Sonia, the thing is that like you and like all of America are in the same boat. Like we're all fucking confused because we all knew about Ryan, and then all of a sudden she's not with Ryan, she's with this guy, and now she's pregnant with another guy, and you're like, wait, what? Like, are you officially divorced yet? Like, is the ink dry on your divorce papers? Like, what's happening? Yeah, so you're literally like the norm right now. You're supposed to be confused because the whole thing's confusing. And I love like she's doing that thing that people do where they're trying to like justify moving on so quickly, where they're like, well, you know, this person isn't actually new. Like they've been in my life for a long time and I've known them for so long. And it's like they're trying to like make like sell you on it, and you're just like, can you just call it what it fucking is? Like you literally like you came out like Ryan was there for you. He was probably, what do they call him? Your trick. I watched Love After Lockup. A trick is like they give you money while you're in prison for commissary and shit. So Ryan was probably her trick. She fucking married him. Promised her to the world. She gets out because she realizes he snores and he hoards food and just was like not cute. And so then she divorces his ass, realizes she still has this other guy in the back burner, gets back with him, gets knocked up with him, and now she's trying to like make us all forget about Ryan as if like that never happened, and we're supposed to just quickly move on and be with her in this like happy world that she's trying to like set up a stick. That's my recap of
why is this making me think back to the time when you were here right before my wedding with Mike and he was hoarding food up in the cupboards and he snores and he snores. He also snores. He hoards food and he snores, but yet here we are today.
She like had this whole like makeover done. She looks great. Good for her. She's like, the thing with Gypsy is like, you know, I do feel for her. What she did was absolutely horrible. But I think it's easy for people to judge not being in her shoes and not really understanding. I think she really did feel like a prisoner. I think she definitely was brainwashed. I think she definitely was like, just, I mean, when you're like at that much despair and you're feeling that cornered and you're feeling that trapped, like I'm sure like she had like the mindset of like a child basically. Like she wasn't thinking, I'm just trying to put reason and understanding as to like what drove her to do what she did. There were plenty of other ways that she could have gotten out of the situation. She could have called her dad, but at the time she didn't believe her dad was in the picture because her mother brainwashed her and told her all these lies about her dad. So she didn't even know. She thought he walked out. He never left. He was still there. He still wanted to be a part of her life. She could have gone to the police. She could have gone anywhere, but like she just didn't think. She just kept thinking that her mom was going to keep coming back and keep pulling her back in, you know. And so she was a prisoner. It wasn't alleged. She suffered a lot of abuse. She had teeth pulled. She had a feeding tube installed that she didn't fucking need. Her mom would like give her all these like heavy sedative medicines to like. I couldn't imagine what she had gone through. So like, I don't know that she should have. I feel like instead of prison, she should have gone to like a psych ward, and she should have had like a mental evaluation and actually been like helped out in that way.
She didn't live a normal life. Like she's living off the resources of being with her mother, who made her sick, and then whatever resources she made available to herself and they made available to her in prison. She is just trying to navigate life with whatever she knows and however she knows how to do, alongside PTSD and all the other stuff.
Like, I just feel like, I guess what I was trying to say is that like she hasn't had a life. She didn't actually start living her life until now that she's out of prison. Like being in prison probably felt
How
like
old
freedom.
is she?
She's 32 now, I think.
Yeah.
But being in prison probably felt like freedom to her compared to what she had been going through. So she went from one prison to like a different, she went from like solitary confinement to like Gen Pop in prison, in prison terms, basically. And now she's finally free. And so it's like, she's like exploring things to do with her hair and makeup and clothes and like social media for the first time, really getting into it, and like all these things that she didn't. So it's like we're seeing her navigate and figure this shit out, and like, you know, so I can only imagine what she's going through, really. Like, I mean,
she's like just kind of discovering who she is outside in the real world by herself for the first time. And here she is with man number 3 having a baby. And I'm not judging, but
man number 3. So the first guy, though, that Nick guy, that's the one that murdered her mom. That's the guy that she like was with while she was in captivity. So I don't know. We can really like, I guess we can include him, but like, he's kind of like old news. Like the two that are like back to back are the ones that are like, what the hell is like the Ryan and then this new guy.
It's just hard to like watch all of this because it's like, I just wish she had somewhat of a life before all of this happened. But, you know, I'm not like.
So I was watching Kardashians, I think it was last week's episode or whatever, and Kim kept talking about like Gypsy Rose and how she wants to like watch her like documentary and everything. And apparently she is like, I think it's this week's episode or whatever. I haven't watched it yet. She's meeting up with Gypsy Rose, and because Gypsy Rose reached out to Kim Kardashian wanting to talk to her about prison reform and basically like use what she had gone through in her story to like help others. And so Kim Kardashian is meeting up with Gypsy Rose, and like I'm just so excited. It's literally merging like two things that I'm just like so into right now. True crime, Gypsy Rose.
So wait, is this going to be, this will be on an upcoming episode?
Yep.
Oh my God.
It's coming up.
That'll be so interesting.
I know.
I have nothing else to say about it. I don't know why.
You're done. You're just tapped out. Is that just too much information for you?
Yeah, my brain is going to explode. It's trying not to, but it's going to.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is that everything we have for today?
It's all we have.
So, reminder, Geriatric Mamas listeners get 20% off services at Ageless Medical Aesthetics in Westbrook, Maine with the code MAMAS2024, and a free first swim class at Goldfish Swim School in Portland, Maine with the same code MAMAS2024. You'll just need to call them to schedule your child's first visit. And coming up soon, we're really excited to announce that we're going to be teaming up with Apothecary, and we will have a discount code for you at some point soon once I figure out the system.
Once our geriatric minds figure out how to do this.
Yes.
So thank you, everyone, for listening. Be sure to tune in next week. Follow, subscribe, rate, and review. Tell a friend. We need your support.
All of your support, please. Like stat. For more info, you can check out our website at geriatricmamas.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at geriatric_mamas, on YouTube at geriatric mamas, Twitter at geriatric mamas, and follow our group page on Facebook, Geriatric Mamas, and TikTok at geriatric_mamas.
You said it correctly.
I did. I was like, wait, did I just say it right?
You said it right. It said it effortlessly as well.
Fabulous.
If you have a topic idea you'd like us to discuss, are interested in being a guest, or simply have a funny geriatric story to tell, you can go to geriatricmamas.com and hit be a guest or send us your story. Bye-bye.
Bye.